You speak as though I have conquered death. I live death every day. I am surrounded by it, smothered by it. Look at you now. He would have everlasting life. You seek to defy death, yet you cannot even defy sleep. And our like sleep is to death. It is a patent death.
Nosfero, does this word not sound like the death bird culling the living dead at dawn? It is the name both ghouls and demons dare not say, for they know it means death for the undead.
Good morning, all of you fine people. How are you doing this Saturday morning? I know it's early, but it's great to see you guys. Sometimes you wake up in the morning, it's time to get to work, and you think, I need to see my fellow comic skaters first thing. So here we are. Let us see who we've got here. Guten Morgen. Absolutely. So let's see who we've got here in the chat. Here we go. We have got Scottsley here. Hail, Scottsley. We have got, this is good stuff. It's always great to see you. Tip of the hat, my lady. Let's see. We have got, oh my gosh, Jeremy, my brother, my New England brother. Tip of the hat. Jeremy, I hope you're doing well. Lord Crackhead 33. Everybody subscribe. You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see the light until I was already a man. By then it was nothing to me but blinding. That's true. Good morning, Viet. Oh, wait. Flashback. Prater 7. Tip of the hat. It's great to see you, my friend. Stephen Rockwood drawing. Michael Bancroft has a sign-up list. You're darn right. Dropping links in the chat. It's good to see you, my artist brother. I hope you are well. Son of Liberty Radio. It's great to see you. Who said Shanth could stream while the sun is still out? He can only stream at 2 a.m. when I'm asleep. I know. That's how it's been. I got out of my my sarcophagus early this morning. There we go. Dropping links. Thank you so much. What is up, Roger Ryder? Howdy. It is great to see you. Tip of the hat and a howdy to you. Let's see. Yeah, Prater 7 saying hello. Roger Ryder saying hello. Boy, look at all these fine people. Jim Cox. Hey, Eric Day. Absolutely right, Jim Cox. Tip of the hat to you, my friend. Tip of the ball cap to you, my friend. Everybody's saying hello, hello, hello. McGregorable J, it is great to see you. Great image. Is that George Reeves? Adam West, and I can't see the person in the back, but that is beautiful. And the American flag, beautiful every morning. What is the story? Morning Glory. Here we go. So, yes, everybody is saying hello. Prater 7, Jim Cox, Scottsley. Hi, hello. Look at all you fine people. Cranberry Langers, good to see you. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. It is great to see you. Aaron Anderson, great to see you. Hail and good morning. Zach Fernandez, good morning. Boy, look at all you fine folks in here. It is great to see you guys. I was just watching something about the light of the world who saves. There you go. Very, very well said. Yeah, absolutely. And so, yeah, for everybody who is, I hadn't seen the finished cap yet. Yeah, here's the finished cap. That's right. I forgot about that. So, yes, for everybody, Brian, suddenly old, good to see you. For everybody who is celebrating or honoring Passover and Easter weekend, I say to you, wishing you the best on those occasions. And we are working on Nosfero, of course, this morning. I've got a really, really fun page and cool layout that I've been dying to get to. Let me adjust my camera so you can see it a little bit better. But this is a very Shanth layout. This is a very Shanth panel that is, of course, nothing that hasn't been tried and explored by amazing comic book artists in our history of this wonderful and splendid art form. What I basically do is I like to try to let the panels be as organic as I can. And sometimes I do more formal rectilinear panels. But this is what it is. And I'm working right now on a shot of this page is very heavy on letting you know about this character, Amun al-Hazred. And the thing about this character that is so fun is he is both the first vampire and a mummy. So that was and I wanted to tie the origins of those two kinds of characters together. And he's, of course, tied to Lovecraftian lore, which is what makes it so fun. Hey, what is up, Mortal V? It is good to see you. Rectilinear. You killed me. You killed me, Mortal V. But good morning to you. It's great to see you. Yeah, I'm working on a script this morning, Scottsley. Excellent. We have got Hicks Villain in here. It's good to see you, Hicks Villain. And J-Bot, hail to you as well, and hail to the chat. So, yeah, gosh, you guys get me every time, man. So, yeah, when I'm working on this character and I'm working on these panels, every single page in this book, because it's, it's fully hand-painted, and boy, I will tell you what, about a week and a half or 2 weeks ago, and it's weird how this stuff happens, but you go through a period whenever you're learning something, and again, I know that a lot of you probably know this, but you go through a period when you are doing any kind of craft or trade where You work really, really hard for a long time, and then you will, try to improve the stuff, which is what we should all be doing, I'm sure. And you kind of you hit a wall. It's like prolonged frustration. You know what you want to do, or you want to improve your stuff, but it's a period of prolonged frustration while you're working. But the thing that's odd about it is it's not a gradual process. All of a sudden, a wall comes down, and you move. All of your artwork just moves completely, a huge jump forward, and that's what's happened on Nosfero. I believe it happened on Art Book 1. That I had a moment of that. Art Book 2 was solid progression, but it wasn't a massive jump. This project is that, times 10. It's been a really great. I think a lot of it has been, and it would be inappropriate for me not to mention, frankly. It would be uncool for me not to mention that you guys and your enthusiasm has played no small part in a lot of the work that has been done, to inspire me to move this stuff, forward. And I get up every morning and I love this world so much, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. Oh my gosh, we got some new people in here. Yeah, dryer vampire equals mummy vampire jerky. Someone please make that. Let me tell you, I've not met a form of jerky in all of its complexity that I don't love. Maromi, good to see you, my friend. Hope you are having a fine Saturday morning. Let's see here. Hicks Villains here. Everybody's saying hello. Yeah, it's one of those things. Let me zoom out so you guys can get a better look at it. But yeah, so here's one panel down there that's made on either side of the wrappings. There's going to be another panel over here. And then this right here, this top panel is an over the shoulder view of this apparition like appearance of the character. So he's able to kind of astrally project himself to communicate. Because it's so funny because it's almost like, the Emperor Vader sequence from Empire Strikes Back. The first time that you kind of see that character, this is the first time that you see him, and that's the piece that you guys are going to get as a print. For those of you guys who back at the art, print, and comic book level, you will be getting the print of it's the female figure with the censorship thing over it. And the great mummy character, and then of course Drake Thulu, who is kind of our heavy in this story, and he's a character that's been a lot of fun because he's basically, if you took Thulu and you crossed him with Nosferatu, so there's a lot of cross pollination of different genres and different things I love. I go to sleep. Hey, what's up, Luna Comics? Great to see you. I go to sleep listening to H.P. Lovecraft stories to relax. So yeah, as I climb into my crypt, that's what I'm listening to, and I love that stuff. I just love the way he did scary work, and how he told horror stories. There was just this idea of what you were experiencing. It was just sort of a corner of that. Now, if I can do my job with Nosfero, who the basic idea of Nosfero is giving horror a straight up hero, a superhero, not a conflicted character, not a character born of evil, who becomes good. All that stuff is very, very cool and interesting, when done well. But that's not what Nosfero is. Nosfero is a very noble character who's overcome trials and overcome, the loss at the hands of evil of his parents. And I mean, legitimate vampire evil. And he picks himself up, and he, commits himself to destroying evil in a lot of ways. It's funny. Someone made the comparison. I think it was it Phil who made this comparison? It probably was Phil. You know how it is in CG. Our days can sometimes blend together. But Phil said that Nosfero, the Masquerade is like the shadow of Comicsgate, and Nosfero is like the phantom of Comicsgate. And I loved that idea. I absolutely love that idea because I'm a huge fan of the movie, the Douglas Fairbanks Sr. movie that inspired The Phantom, which is a movie starring Douglas Fairbanks Sr. called The Black Pirate. And in that story, believe it or not, a young lad's parents are killed, and his crew are killed by pirates, just like the Phantom was. and he swears an oath to get revenge and becomes a pirate and learns the ways of the pirates to take them down. And I love that stuff. I love that stuff so much. So it leads to a single origin story, offshoots of one single entity, like breeds of families. Yeah, well, yes, there's a lot of that, but here's the biggest thing. When people say, what am I getting in this book? What am I getting in this book? I was just looking up the Phantom. Very, very cool. What you are getting in this book is the origin story of this entire, pantheon of characters. So this is first appearance of Amun al-Hazred. This is first appearance of Drake Thulu. This is first appearance of Lascivia. This is first appearance of Laurel. This is first appearance of... Have I said what the werewolf's name is yet? I don't think I have. First appearance of him. First appearance of, Nosfero, of course. So this book has a lot in it for a first issue. And it is, I was talking with someone about the page count on this book, that it is not a particularly massive book. The amount of ground covered in this book and the way that the story is structured it's a very, very packed book visually, but it's done with this kind of simultaneity so that it's like Star Wars in that sense. Star Wars is not the first Star Wars movie anyway, is not a really long movie. It feels like a much longer movie than it is because it introduces you to everything. And it is, I was thinking about that the other day, just how incredible it is to do a driving, action-packed, kind of story with, some absolutely there are slow moments in those stories. That's the only way you can, you get to know Luke a little bit and you get to meet his aunt and uncle and all that other stuff. And there's clearly, it's not all just complete and utter action. You have that conversation with Ben Kenobi. You have all that different stuff, right? So that is a really great metric for this. Hey, what's up, Sumo Thori? It is great to see you. Yeah, I don't think I've ever told anybody the name of the werewolf. I came up with it about a week or two, maybe 3 ago, but I'm not sure. And I don't know if another character has this name, so I'm going to have to look it up. But it's the name of a street that I drive past up here all the time that I really love the name of. And it just works perfect for the character. So we'll see. But yeah, so I've been working on that, and I want this story to, I don't know how to describe it. I want this story to be like I'm giving you a tour of a comic book haunted house, but at the same time, we're walking through the halls of literature. We're walking through the halls of Universal horror movies. I mean, this is going to be so cool, guys. Every day I'm excited about this project more than I can possibly ever articulate. But at the same time, the only time I am not actively working on this project and completely excited is when my body goes, you need to rest now. You're done, kid. Like, because I will work until I pass out. And that is just how it is. And it's the same thing with everything, right? I know CG well enough to know that we are very much kindred spirits here, and all of our folks work really, really hard because that's how we're able to back these campaigns. It doesn't come from nowhere. It comes from our hard work. And the reason why, when I think about occasionally, I get tired for other creators. Hey, what's up, Skip Edwards? Great to see you. Good morning, my friend. By the way, for any of you guys married or looking to get married, I will tell you something. There is frequently nothing more annoying to a spouse who's not a morning person than a spouse who is. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, good morning, sweetheart. How you doing? And my wife just looks at me and she's like, how do you do that? You just woke up. But I frequently do think about other creators and what they do and what's involved, because we're essentially, everything we're doing, we're like a one-person publishing company, so everything the big publishers do, everything that other creators count on their publishing, the publishing companies they work for to do, we're doing. So we do it all ourselves. But when I look at the amount of work that Ethan has done, I am in awe of it. I think it's just the action figure thing all the way across the board. I was thinking about that the other day. I was thinking about a lot of creators in CG and how much great stuff. Gosh, this is one of those dyslexia moments here, which is I've got this. His raps make these almost creepy sort of like horns that come off of his head, and they have a particular direction to them. And I try to remember. Shit, I'm drawing off frame. Sorry about that, guys. I try to remember. I can just adjust that. That's even smarter. Oh, hey, what's up? Good to see you. Wow. LE, good to see you here, my friend. I've been thinking heavily about marriage lately. It is, yeah, it's great. Sorry to be so blunt about it, but marriage is absolutely great. It's a question of, obviously, it's a question of picking your teammate. And if there's one thing about marriage that I would say to somebody, that was the best bit of advice I got. It was from Joseph Campbell said something that when you go into a marriage, a lot of people think that you're making sacrifices for the other person, but it's actually both of you making sacrifices for the marriage. And there's this Sanskrit word that I rather like that is on my wife's wedding band. That is a word called, and I'm Indian, so I can do that. Ha ha ha. In case everybody's like, oh god, a Sanskrit word on a wedding band. But it is it is this word ardhangi, which means you are half my body, and that's kind of how I see it, and I like it. But it's good stuff. It's good work if you can get it. Let me see here. Hey, Mrs. Good Stuff. How come Sean's transitioned from good morning, Skip? So if anyone wants to get married, Skip, I wasn't trying to call you out. I was thinking about when I said good morning to my wife this morning, and she's like, I need coffee before I deal with that level of intensity. It looks a bit like Wolverine hair. Yes, that was Wolverine, Batman, Faust, Tim Mitchell's Faust. Someone pointed that out the other day. And good morning, hail to you, of course. Don't buy the cow when you can get the milk for free. But what if the cow is sacred and you can't purchase it? When you're in India, cattle have the right of way when you're driving, and whatever our traffic problems are here, I cannot tell you how insane it is. It's crazy. Hail, Scottsley, says Ellie Munoz, and then we have Luna Comics saying marriage is becoming one flesh. Very true. I'm not sure people will get that reference about Sanskrit and India. Could though. Yeah, exactly. That's right. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I say that not because anybody can use Sanskrit who wants to. Believe me. That's sort of what I was joking about, is how cliche it's become. It's like if how do I word it? Sanskrit tattoos and all that stuff, all fine and good, but sometimes it comes to a cliche point to where I have to remind people that I grew up around it, so it's not as it's not as trendy for me. I've been doing this trend for a while. So yeah, but I don't care. I mean, people do what you want to do, guys. I do not believe in that appropriation BS. It's not my bag. And neither does anyone else in the world. So it's kind of funny. So let me see what I've got here. Oh, wow. Geez. Okay. Cows are such good people. That's absolutely right. And they're delicious. Can't overstate that. Actually, Wolverine stole his hairstyle from Kane from House of Mystery. So here's my question about that hairstyle thing. And correct me if I'm wrong on this, Son of Liberty, because I know you'd be able to research this and find this out. Was the Werewolf of London, where I really feel like I saw, that's where the hair happened for the first time, but I don't know the year on it. Is that the first time that hair was ever done? Where the Werewolf of London? Somebody let me know, because that was a really interesting movie. The milk is sacred in India too. Yeah, absolutely it is. What's up? Yeah, somebody's saying what's up to everybody. The art and times of Jay Ryan. Yeah, it's great to see you here. And I'm glad that you've got another account to showcase the artwork. It's great. The Beast with two backs. Gotcha. Yeah, that's absolutely right. I wish I could meet people so I can get married, but I'm a little isolated. Gotta just get out there. I heard Bill Burr and Nia trying to give relationship advice, and it was painfully funny because they were like, we don't know what we're doing about this, how to give advice. I can't speak for Mr. Good Stuff, but for the first 30 minutes in the morning, he can't understand a word I'm saying. Yeah, I'm the opposite. My wife says I wake up with the story already in progress. Hey Sumo, everybody's saying hello. Cows are heavenly to be sure, especially with barbecue sauce. Guys, I love meat. It is what it is. It's I eat Slim Jims, guys. Like the bar for me is clearly not as not very high for my enjoyment of such things. And the thing about it is too. Sorry, I'm drawing off frame here, guys. When I'm drawing this stuff, oh wait, Son of Liberty has it for me. Werewolf of London is 1935. Holy cow! Wow, I knew it was obviously before. What do you call it? The Wolfman, because that was where the mythos of silver and all that stuff comes from. But wow, 1935. So shortly after Frankenstein. Well, depending on, but that's amazing. Yes, hail the art and times of Jay Ryan, and oh boy, Oberto. I agree. I love Oberto. Although my mother-in-law, God bless her, lives in Texas, or she has lived in Texas up until recently. I think she's moving out of state. But she is what do you call it? Ready for the next adventure somewhere, and I think Arkansas. But she is. She gets me some of the best and finest Texas beef jerky, and I like myself some beef jerky that you have to like put like a corner of it in your mouth and wait for the thing to be edible. Like I like beef jerky you can roof a house with for some reason, and peppered to all heck fire. I want someone to start a meat buffet restaurant. I do too. Second, yeah, absolutely. Let's see here. Hello, Scottsley. Everybody is saying their hellos. It's great to see. Yeah, that's no. Naughty first thing in the morning. So when I'm working on this guy, the thing that has sort of been ongoing with this character design is I want this to be a comic book. I'm not looking to make a movie. I'm not looking to water down our language of comics. So things like what we do with Batman or Wolverine's costumes that don't seem to make very much sense when you put them on screen are a part of our language. And comics, I think about characters like Spawn is a really good example, because I will always love that character, and Todd McFarlane, who was just again so kind to me when I met him as a kid, and that those things leave a huge impact. But I just loved the creativity that character is so made for the art form of comics. I love that stuff. I think that you could always translate these characters into other art forms. Clearly, you can translate them into toys. You can translate them into all of that stuff. And I backed the Spawn Kickstarter. I know Ethan did as well. And I don't know if he ever talked about that figure, but I love the original Spawn costume design. I like when it was more sort of superhero-y. But this is what horror comics, in my opinion, I've been waiting for someone to do in horror comics, and why not have it be done by me in Comicsgate, is to make horror characters that are comic book horror characters in the truest sense. So is there a werewolf comic, to me, my estimation, where the werewolf in the comic is as cool or cooler than Rick Baker's design for American Werewolf in London, or Rob Bottin's design for The Howling? No, sorry. It's practical special effects do that so well. For comics to do that, they have to create something like Wolverine. They have to create something that is iconic and not trying to be as practical. And I don't know, and maybe someone in the chat will say, no, you forgot this character, but I don't know if I've ever seen anything like that. Just like I would argue that even with the best special effects we have today, I don't think anyone's ever done the Swamp Thing better than Bernie Wrightson. It's such a brilliant comic book character. Let's see here. Oh, excuse me. Goodness. Skip over Sumo Thori. You excited to see me get outbid on Don Chin's stream today? Oh no. Is there an auction? We have meat buffet restaurants, Texas, Brazil, in Texas, absolutely. Brazil too, Brazilian food, yes. Steakhouses are meat buffets that they just keep bringing meat to you till you tell them to stop. Yes, I need a restaurant where they serve you steak until you have to tap out. That's great. booking next flight to Brazil. Absolutely. Book me a seat as well. I recently watched a video from In Praise of Shadows. That's right. It went into depth on how DC ruined Batman in comics and how Batman works best as gothic horror. He does do it without talking about woke culture. Yeah. That's the thing that is interesting to me, right? Is that that there's things that, whether it's that Lovecraft does. Here's a good example. When I look at Lovecraft stuff, Lovecraft creates things that work best in his art form, work best as literary characters. Can they work other places? People are always trying and borrowing stuff. Certainly Mike Mignola in Hellboy did and brought that into comics, but he didn't go as deep into it. He kind of, he touches on it, but there's stuff in Lovecraft that if you try to think of it outside of literature, it is so difficult. And I think comics is that. I think that when I see a comic character that works best in comics done well, I want it to feel like a comic book character. So to be clear, this is excuse me, this is horror on an epic comic book, fantasy scale. We defy the laws of physics. We do compositions that are not film stills, but are works of art in and of themselves. And that's what you're buying when you back Nosfero. And I know so many of you guys have, and I thank you for that. But when you get Nosfero, it is going to be, the objective of it is for it to be a true, according to Hoyle, comic book experience. And I'm inspired to do so by all of you and your support for this project. I cannot thank you enough, especially with regards to getting the word out about it. Which is something you can never really plan for. And I am very grateful for that. But I want it to feel like what I love about going through a haunted house, what I love about Halloween, what I love about all of that stuff. Oh, wow. Jump some stuff here. Yes, Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing is one of the most complex character designs. Absolutely right. And Bernie Wrightson did it fantastic justice. Skip Edwards art. I'm rooting for you unless it's something I want. Well said, Sumo Thori. Remember, this is capitalism. I need a special effects studio to just handle Swamp Thing's appearance. You're absolutely right. Yeah, that would take a heck of a team, and I'm sure someone has thought about it a lot. There are a lot of comic character stories that work best as comics. Agreed, 100%. Very close to imagination. Yes. The medium is the message. Marshall McLuhan. I know the. Bless my heart, as they say. Trying to pronounce it, but I know the one. Yes. Jonathan Jetty working on Nosfero. Absolutely. Thank you so much for that link, Stephen Rockwood. Much appreciated. Your art style reminds me a little bit of art from the Arkham Asylum. Oh, that's right. I remember that stuff. Cleaner in a good way. Yeah, I steal everything good from Muka and Frazetta at the moment. That hair no longer looks like Wolverine. Now it's more Machiavelli. There you go. There. Well, listen, guys. I've got in front of me here on the desk, which you can't really see, and I will at some point, if I get to a point, I will move it. But I've got the NECA Boris Karloff mummy figure on my desk, which I'm using for reference. And the thing that I love about it is that I want this to have the quality of Boris Karloff's The Mummy and Jack Pierce's breathtaking makeup work on that. That's what I'm after. And I like the details of horror. I like, and maybe that's why some of the best horror comics are drawn in that very detailed style. Why Swamp Thing works so well in that stylistic, is because it's got that it almost like it requires a certain amount of detail and immaculate reality for people to get sort of transported into it. And if this book doesn't transport you, then I haven't done my job, because that's really what it's about ultimately, is making sure that this. And it's funny, when I'm working on the pinup for Phil Diaz, the Downcast piece, that's a huge part of it. I was looking at diving masks and looking at how the oxygen, bubbles, or the when you exhale, for lack of a better way of putting it, how those come out. Not because Downcast is a straight, old school diving, gear. It's not. It's referencing it. But I wanted to spend some time looking at that stuff. And informing, the detailing of it, because when you step into one of my paintings, I want you, yeah, you must make a friend of horror. Yes, absolutely right. Horror. I've seen horror. Horror that you've seen. You must become a friend of horror. I swallowed a bug. That's from the outtake, by the way, which I love. Hey, what's up, Teflon Ron? Great to see you. I love this. The smoke effect, the art, that's straight Art Nouveau. That's what I love the most. Yes, the Diaz brothers book. So yeah, I was working on, so I'm painting this. What am I doing? You guys are here. You're in my home. So welcome, most importantly, welcome to my home, and good morning. Happy Saturday to you. Hope everybody's having a great weekend. But I forget that I have the painting here right off camera so I can show you. So let's let that focus for a second. There you go. This is me painting a metal diving suit and trying to basically, in blue lighting because of the underwater aspect of it and the light that we lose, and trying to get the aging and the rust effects on it. Not the rust, but the aging, I guess I would say. It's not rusting. But this is the biggest thing. Yes, please don't forget to hit that like button. Do not forget to do all that stuff. And subscribe if you haven't. But do you guys see what I mean? This is what I'm after. Because if somebody, and then I haven't really finished it yet, but here's the tropical fish that's pulling on the bikini bottom. And it's a play on a parrot shift. Patina, thank you, Admiral Wackass, in to save the day as always. Yo, Admiral Wackass. It is great to see you, my friend. I needed you just in the nick of time. Whenever I look around at those most difficult times, I see Admiral Wackass was standing there. That's something that may not have been said in the history of Western civilization. But look at how that works. So I was watching an old Navy diving instructional video of a gentleman who was walking you through all the things you have to bear in mind when you're tending to a diving suit. Hey, what is up, Eric Weathers? How are you doing, my friend? I hope you are having a great weekend. I hope you had a great Good Friday and are on your way to a happy Easter and a happy Easter weekend. Great to see you, brother. Let's see. That bucket head is aging before our eyes. I can see the rust forming now. Yeah, that's the joy, guys. I want you guys to love this stuff and have a great time. Whenever you guys back one of my books, I want you to feel the wrapping on this. Not wrapping. I mean, he's not a rapper per se. But I want you to feel the wrappings on this character and, feel like you're transported here. I want you to be transported in this comic book for the pages I have you. I want you to be, it's the best way I could put it. There's this thing that I had explained to me when I was learning comics from my mentor, who is an incredible career in comics, but who I want to keep out of the BS if I can. And this is the thing that I think about. Oh, excellent. This is good stuff. You have a wonderful weekend, and I have a great time with the family. Please wish everyone in your family well for me, and tell them to have a wonderful weekend. All right, you take care. This is one of the things that when I'm doing this stuff. Yes, absolutely, guys. Eric Weathers, Battle Brick Road. We are on the Battle Brick Road to 100K. Can't overstate it. So important. By the way, Eric, if you want to pop in and say hello, and I know it's Easter weekend, so you are by no means required. But if you, of course, but if you feel like popping in and saying hello, I can send you the link if you'd like to. It is your call, no pressure. Yes, I bet Roach Balls is lurking nearby. Yes, absolutely. Rich Ayala, man, we had a great time talking. Him and I and Dan Lawless. We had a great artist powwow. I think we're gonna have to do more of that. Absolutely. Let's see. I sent their first 20 pages to my of my pulp Golden Age hero novel to Aldous to get his initial opinion, waiting for a harsh response. That's great. I'm sure Aldous will be thorough in terms of looking it over. He's probably still on a high from the Steranko show, which everybody was apparently just overwhelmed by how great it was. And how great Jim Steranko himself was, which is wonderful. wonderful to hear. Because I think that Jim Steranko, something that Phil said on that stream, and you guys can watch it. It's on this channel. But something he said that Steranko said to him that really got me, and I think it certainly got him as well. It was very moving to hear. He said that all comics, all art that we do starts with a dream. It starts with this dream, and you bring it to life, and people, whether it's an art exhibition, it's a comic book, or it's whatever, the people who back you, the people who support it financially and help bring it to fruition, are in a sense buying a piece of that dream in a way that goes beyond just being a customer. And I don't look down on that, by the way, when I say that, just being a customer. Being a customer is important. Frankly, if people took better care of the industries, took better care of their customers, as well as we try to do here in CG with our backers, we'd be living in a very different world. But that having been said, I just don't think I can overstate that, the real, according to Hoyle investors, putting skin in the game on these books are why they happen. Oh, excellent. I figured it as much, but it would have been, you've invited me to streams and I've been asleep, and I thought, oh my God, I have to invite Eric. We're preparing to head out for a family lunch next time. Absolutely, Eric. Please give my best to the family and have a wonderful lunch, my friend. Let's see. Scottsley saying, hail. Everybody saying hello to Eric Weathers. Amazing stuff. Yeah, let's back Battle Brick Road if you have not yet, guys. I'm so excited for that book. And after all of the craziness of the printer installing new printers and everything like that, that book is ready to rock and roll, and we love it. We love it, seeing it. Another Comicsgate fulfills. Another Comicsgate fulfills. Wait, Son of Liberty. Where did I miss this? Oh, yes. 20 pages of the book. Yeah, it is really great to see how productive Comicsgate is inspiring people to be, and whether it's with streaming and sharing their enthusiasm for things. I was watching a stream last night, because I have to catch up on streams sometimes, by 80s Made Consumer, who did a great review of Michael Bancroft's The Lucent, and talks a lot about action figures and toys, and did a great thing about Ninja Turtles toys and things like that. And he was just saying some really great and insightful stuff about building an audience. I think Michael Bancroft popped in on that chat. He wasn't on the stream, but and it was really great stuff to hear. And I love seeing people talk about what they're investing in, trying to make good entertainment for you guys to enjoy, and that's so important. The update I sent out yesterday netted 15 new backers, over 95K, guys. We are 5K away on the Battle Brick Road to 100K, 6 figures. Here's the thing, guys. If I can say that this fine Easter weekend, Eric Weathers is as homegrown as it gets when it comes to Comicsgate. He has been doing so much hard work on the ground, lettering almost single-handedly every book in Comicsgate. Some of the most important books of all time in Comicsgate, those first early books, and still to this day is doing that work on top of being a creative force himself. If you've been on any of the streams I've been on with Eric, you have seen his painted work on his art station. If you watched his most recent draw stream, which I encourage everybody to go check out, you see his breathtakingly painterly approach to the way he's handling ink. He's another Comicsgater who every single book levels up, and every time you buy one of our books, it's a document of the journey that we are on artistically. In terms of and I mean, when I say the journey we are on, I mean the journey Comicsgate is on. I don't know how many of you got Groken and how many of you guys missed that. Hopefully none of you guys are missing Rich Ayala's Roach Balls, because I think that's another example. He showed a preview print of it with the lettering. Another example of a book that's just showing how things evolve. And it is great stuff. It is great stuff. Stephen Rockwood, Lucent 2. I got my desktop cam set up to do a book reviews. Nice. And classic art profiles. Going to do the gallery edition of Weapon X first. Excellent, excellent. Every book except the Lucent Pandalfia. Let's not bring this to that. I saw Rich Ayala on a stream last night with Michael Bancroft. He has 8. Hispanic CGers last night on his stream. I think he started a new chapter last night. No, that's not true because there are it's all white guys, Comicsgate. There are no women and there are no people like myself here. So you're imagining me. What the heck? Yes, let me tell you something, guys. There's a second chance email list sign up for Groken. Groken is like, how do I describe this? Groken and Rich Ayala's Roach Balls could both be awesome segments on MTV's Liquid Television back in the day. That's how great those things are. I love that stuff. Yes, Kenneth Roquefort's Groken 2 has a sign up now, and you'll be able to back Groken 1 on that sign up. There will be a catch up tier. Now, speaking of catch up, I love it on hamburgers. But in addition to that, when people ask about backing Nosfero, here's the thing I always say that I'm going to do is that when it comes to backing my books, those of you who back early when I need you, which is to say on campaign 1, you guys will be getting it cheaper than everybody else. My stuff will not become easier to get a hold of because you wait. My stuff, I will reward the people who back this stuff early, right? Catch-up tiers being catch-up tiers, and again, I love catch-up, is definitely a thing, but it's you guys are putting in so much risk. I think it's important for you guys to be rewarded. And I want to make sure that those first editions are first editions. All of that stuff is very, very important to me because I'm a comic collector. And I think the people who have our backs at the beginning, when we go, into the fray, it's important to be there. And so what in Kenneth's case, there were all these great exclusive covers that I missed out on one I really want. But it is what it is. There are all these great exclusive covers you will not be able to get when he does the catch-up tier. And I think that is really important. It's really important for the people who were there and backed all 3 covers that they're able to get it. I think it's so cool. Yeah, so please do sign up for it. Miss Groken, yes, absolutely. Cats up, absolutely. Groken looks like heavy metal Spawnish. It's so brilliant. I love it. You still got... oh, yes, that's right. That had 1,000 subs raffle going too as well. Yes, I... Absolutely, it's the raffle for the 1,000 subscribers is going to be for a painting. The only question is how serious of a painting am I going to raffle? But right now, I'm leaning towards a very serious painting, not a head sketch. I'm going to leave it at that. So if I get to 1,000 subs, what I'm going to be doing a raffle for is big. I have not decided yet how I'm going to go about it. I may make it so that people have to sign up for the raffle and give them ample time. Like I'm going to talk about it every day for a month so that people can enter themselves in it, because I don't want, if I do what I'm thinking of doing for this, I don't want it to go to somebody who doesn't want it because it's too big. So yeah, put that in the back of your head here, guys. It's going to be substantial because I think that the people who are ride or die and have your back deserve to be, or at least for me, I will say deserve is a weird word because people, woke people use it very oddly, but I like to honor the people who have my back, and I like to tell people when they do a lot for me and my family that I appreciate them. D-Wag in the house. It is great to see you, D-Wag. Good morning to you. Tip of the hat and happy to see you. Teflon Ron. Who will be the lucky winner? ? Definitely have to sign up for a raffle. Yeah, absolutely. I think that stuff is so important. I think I need to make a second account. My mom, who is a big businesswoman, said it's bad business to tie your personal to the business name. Yes, that's true. In case I say something that could hurt me in the yeah, it's possible. I mean, I kind of am all in it right now, so it's tough for me to say. Yo, D-Wags, and please make the sign up available by email for those of us who don't do social media. I absolutely will. That is without a doubt the case. I will do it by email. No doubt about it. I may even set up a special email account for it, so that I can make sure that it's something everybody sees, because I think that yeah, I'm gonna work that out, and don't you worry, it will get done. It will absolutely get done. But yeah, I love doing stuff like that because I want this to be, fun, isn't it? I mean, that's it really. I love Halloween. I love comics. I love there's all these things that bring me so much joy. And I was listening to a YouTuber who was talking about the kind of corporate backlash on Disney in the last couple of weeks. And the person that he had on who was talking described their channel as, it's a channel where we talk about all of those things that should be fun. And what he means to say is that, of course, all of these subjects, whether it's theme parks or toys or comics or action figures, these things should be fun. And and fun has a lot of different definitions depending on who you ask. But I think of things like, I've never been to it before, but Monster Palooza, and that great horror convention for special effects people, and people who collect different things, and all of those really great fun events out there, and how we can make them exciting. And to me, is there anything more fun than listen, folks, I'm trying not to reveal what a boring life I lead, but it is what it is. But to me, it is so exciting getting a CG package in the mail. It so is. Absolutely. Yes. Happy Easter to you as well. And happy Easter to you, Admiral Wackass. Great to see you, my friend. This is the thing that I often think about. So when I got Kenneth's, book in the mail, when I got the Lost Pages, Phil Diaz's book, in the mail, I was so excited, and I thought to myself, gosh, it has been so long since I've been really excited for a new comic book title, as I have been for these CG titles. It's like getting in on the ground floor on something new. And I think there's something fun about that, It's so great. Yeah, absolutely. Everybody's saying hello. Yes, I love getting mail as well, Stephen Rockwood. Absolutely. Yeah, happy Easter, everyone, says Teflon Ron. I'm going to do it today. It's one thing to plan and another thing to execute the plan. Now, my question is, should I tell you my second name, or is best to keep it? I mean, keep it a mystery if you want to keep it a mystery. It's all what it is. Yeah, the boxes look great. Yes, they do. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's the little things like, the stickers or the wax seals. You really feel as though, I mean, guys, we're not mega corporations. When you see things like, loot crates and things like that have all this cool stuff in it, there's a lot of people behind it. Not a million, but there's a fair amount. In many cases, it is just families packing up these boxes individually. And it's like getting a great present. It's more than a comic. It's more than comics. It's really a culture, like an art culture, creative culture, like conventions in the 80s and 90s and the 70s, for that matter, for those of us who go back, and I love that stuff. Been waiting for the Lost Pages too. Excited as all. Yeah, I just got mine this past week. And boy, they did a great job. Production value is fantastic. It was the most excitement I've had for a bit in years and years. Absolutely right. Yeah, and he put so much time into it. For a package, it's a big deal. Like, you're creating something big in the world. Yes, it definitely is. Yeah, I'll keep it a mystery. Absolutely right. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things to where everybody's got to do what makes them comfortable, and what it's ultimately about for me is I read this thing, and I don't know, granted, I don't really have a personal social media thing. They're kind of combined in my instance. But the thing about it for me is I was reading this thing about this thing that made the rounds called How to Get Rich Without Getting Lucky, that had some of my favorite quotes in it. And it was basically just whiskey wisdom and really sound business sense. And one of the things it said on there that I thought was really interesting is it said, take risks under your own name as a thing. And he goes into some explanation of it. And there was a lot of other things about that as well. And getting into some pretty sound stuff that helped me think about the changes I made in my life last year, which was don't play status games and don't be around people playing status games. Be around people who are playing, wealth creation games, which is to say, people who are trying to be industrious and not, and motivated by productivity and not motivated by what will the neighbors think, and or do the right people like me is probably a better way of even putting that. And that kind of stuff is really useful knowledge and useful wisdom. And so when I've started working on this, I start thinking about things that I've learned from the various Comicsgate creators and everything like that, which is making sure that you're building something under your name and that is creatively something that an audience feels really involved in, and they feel like they're a part of it, and they feel like it's cool, and they feel like they know what it is, that they're getting, and it's fair. I don't know. It's so cool. It's so cool to dedicate your time to all of this stuff. It's a lot of work, to be sure, but it's so worth the doing because you guys are so great. You guys are so great. And that's what I love about it. Hey, what's up, Aldous? How are you doing? Just dropping by to hit that like. Have a great Saturday, all. You have a great Saturday, my friend, and a wonderful weekend. And take care. Absolutely, my friend. I was just talking about you and the Shadow exhibit, which is such an amazing thing. I saw a pan through of it. Yeah, happy Saturday, says Admiral Wackass. Yes, thank you for the link. Yeah, we're almost that 25K stretch goal, which is going to be something. Biggest risks can bring you the biggest rewards. Not gambling, though. Yeah, you feel more alive. Yeah, I just it's a strange kind of thing because I think that one thing that I love about Comicsgate is that it's not totally standardized, and it's not like, oh, there's only one way to do things. I love there to be wisdom out there to follow, to be sure, and like the wisdom that John and Ethan have offered through their experiences. But yeah, I don't think things need to be standardized. But for me personally, there's the upside and the downside. When I weigh them, I came down on the side of I want to make sure, after being in academia and being feeling incredibly anonymous in that world, it was all about the brand of the colleges and the schools. I was like I want to, at least if I'm gonna take responsibility for things, I want to also take credit. It's important. It's important for people to know what you actually do. And so that's one of those things I can't speak highly enough about, is that, put yourself out there, show your work, and tell people who did it, and don't ever be, there's a big gap between being obnoxious and being, taking credit for what you do. And I think that it's important. Like when you think about it too, like I think of a really good example that is obviously justified, but when Ethan increasingly started talking about how much of a role he played in the creation of the Green Lantern emotional spectrum. It's a fact. He did that. That's what's so important about it. And he should take full credit for it. Yeah, Aldous on the farm. Yes, absolutely. Subscribe. Great stuff, and I think that's important. Like if you created something like that, as a matter of fact, people should know that, because if they're looking to invest in you, that's what anybody who was trying to get people to invest in their art and projects would do. They would say, here is my track record. And I think Ethan's track record at DC Comics is amazing. If it wasn't amazing, people wouldn't have tried to attack it so hard and bring it down. Oh, thank you so much. And Jeremy, like I said, I don't know what any of you guys' schedules are this weekend, but if you feel like popping in, let me know. I'll send you the link, my friend. But yeah, absolutely. Yeah, only one life to live. It goes up in smoke soon. Yes, absolutely. But so yeah, Jeremy, just let me know. Well, respect to Gabe for doing that. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you've got to do that. You got to do that. Oof, my power just flickered, but I'm back on. Oh no. Yeah, that's definitely what it's been like here. So yeah, when I look at the people who have contributed so much, I think people should point that stuff out. People should say, hey, look at what I've done. If for example, it's there's such the myth that that it's obnoxious to point out what you've done is crazy. And it is, you can be obnoxious in the way you do it, but when people in CG who have done so much for it say, I've done a lot for this, I'm like, yeah, you should say that. It's a fact. So yeah, It's fun stuff to see, though. It's fun to see people who are doing great work coming together, and they should be proud of it. They should absolutely be proud of what they have done. And you guys should be proud. When I see people say, I'm backer number something, or whatever, it's like, yeah, you should tell people you backed a project. It's great. People should see that, because these projects exist because of backers. Comicsgate exists because of backers. It's like, who knows where we'll be in, X amount of years, like what things will happen. I mean, shoot, I couldn't have imagined I was going to be streaming on YouTube, not long ago. But there'll be other forms for getting work out there. But for right now, this work lives in the new voices. God, I can't, that's another one of those neo-Marxist concepts. New talent, let's say. The new talent that comes in here is made possible by Indiegogo and by you guys putting faith in this stuff. And that's important. Backer number 3, hail Stephen Rockwood, and thank you so much, my friend. Worth doing what others are unwilling to do. Do your best, stand out, because if you don't, you will blend in with the rest of the sheep. Very true. Very true. Yes, sub to Lord Crackhead 33, 100%. 100%. And so, yeah, I mean, that's really what it comes down to. And it's why when I appreciate people, I make sure I let them know. And I think it's worth the doing. And if you guys have been, on any of the streams that I've been on, and whether it's the comics CG team or, on Double Impact, the show I do with Gabe, you see us talk about a lot of stuff, and we're generally speaking, we're usually very positive. Like, that's how it works. That is how it works. And I think that's what it comes down to. And we also, we give credit where credit's due. And it's a very simple thing to do in some regards. It's if people wish to remain anonymous, that's a whole different thing. But I think that we can certainly point to the Jim Starankos of this world, the comic book, greats, the Bernie Wrightsons, and say, wow, they have contributed to this art form. And I think that, for me, seeing people coming into a field or a business who have no appreciation for the work that was done to build it and get them there and gleefully tear it down is a failure to give credit in so many ways to how hard it was to build the house to begin with. And this is a house that we've all built together and put in tons of work, to make sure that people come in and can find it. So, that's something I wanted to make sure I talked about today, especially because, this weekend I was thinking about it a lot, is that we are starting to see more and more people who are coming onto YouTube and doing things because they are fans of CG and they're being introduced to it post, a lot of the chaos and all the cancellation stuff that happened with Ethan and all those guys. And that is really exciting. I really noticed it, Okay, I must go look into the shadows. Bye, everyone. Take care, my friend. Luna Comics, take care. But that was one of the things that I was really, I've been really amazed by. People are kind of like, oh, yeah, there's all this nonsense, but Comicsgate, it's great. I love this, love that. And that's been something that has been a long time coming. And I'm sure it's going to get better and better and better as time goes on if we all keep working. But I mean, goodness gracious, if you told me that, even a year ago, I wouldn't have believed it. That we were going to, I believed that it was coming, but I didn't think it was going to happen this soon. Because it's like, there's just so many more channels to look at. There are people who come into Comicsgate and, come into it through smaller channels and don't even know any of the other stuff. Like, they know it through that channel. And that is really cool to get to meet people that way. And I'm also getting more and more suggestions in my feed of CG channels, which is kind of cool. So I think the more that you guys like and subscribe to these channels, which, by the way, if you haven't hit like on this video, please do. The more of you guys who keep doing this stuff, the more it changes the algorithm. And it gets people to say, oh, let's take a look at this. Let's, people want to see this. Let's find it. Where is it located? And that's great, man. It's great for comics. I think comics is in one of the better positions than it's been in decades, which is to say that it's possible for, new talent to come in, to get spotted, get mentored in terms of by watching YouTube videos, not like direct, conversations, but by watching videos on how to do it. And there's a lot more wisdom out there because the people who are giving the wisdom, you can just go and check and say, has this person done anything? Like, have they produced a book? And if they've produced books and they've, had a lot of success, you can kind of gauge the advice that way. When you go into a status environment where status is what's valued, people give advice based on their status, not based on their experience. And so as we've made this more of a people interested in creating a wealth in the broadest sense of knowledge and inspiration and imagination, we've seen a matching level of growth, as the status games always lead to things shrinking and dying out. So yeah, we're in great shape, guys. We're in absolutely great shape. Oh, let me see who's here. All right, J-Bot, yes. It's going to be square bound. All my books are square bound and heavy stock. So yes, it's going to be absolutely square bound, not a floppy. And it's going to be larger too. So it's going to be, all my books are 8.5 by 11, glossy stock, serious cover stock, and good stock on the inside too as well. So it's not lighter comic book paper. And that way, you will be feeling like you are getting a very substantial book, and it'll be about 50 pages. So that's the artwork and story is going to be about 30 plus, and then the bonus stuff and the end pages are going to give it more weight too as well, more cool sketch stuff. Heading out, have a great Easter weekend, everyone. Eric, tip of the hat to you, my brother, and you have a great Easter and love to the family. Yes, everybody's saying happy Easter and much love. So yes, that's the whole thing with Nosfero. Nosfero's got to be one of those projects that has that quality to it. It's got to be. It's like my first 2 art books, but it's got a story to it. And that's how we're going to get that coolness factor to it. Let me see what I've got here in here. All right, well, there's let me see what I have here. Not there. Okay, cool. Just checking to see how things are going, because the thing about CG is that we take our I don't say even breaks, but sometimes we're not on social media as much because we're at the desk painting, and sometimes we're painting while we're on social media. But there's a lot of stuff to check, when you're doing this stuff. A lot of stuff to check. Yeah. Oh, thank you. This art deserves a hardcover. I appreciate that. Yeah, and who knows? That might be a second edition thing. I don't know though. It's got to hit certain points for that to be possible. And I also think I also think those things are just further down the road. I love my artwork that I'm doing on this book. I really do, and I'm thrilled that you guys are enjoying it. But I do think that the books that really merit those hardcovers tend to be the bigger CG properties right now. And if we get there, it'll happen. I don't know when Hellboy got its first hardcover, or when Rocketeer got its first hardcover even. But I imagine it took a little bit of time, and we'll get there. We'll get there when it's ready and when it's merited. You better believe it'll happen. And thank you for the kind words. That is very appreciated. Here we go. All righty. So let's see what else we got to do here now. All right. So I'm going to get out the pencil now, because I want to make sure I sketch out where this arm is going here. Let's see. How much more do you need? Yeah. How much more do you need? Yes, absolutely, guys. For the hardcover. Well, it's the biggest thing with the hardcover is going to be how much it costs in terms of weight for mailing. That's going to be one factor of it. And also to cover all of our other stuff that we're putting in this package, all of our bonus materials. So I've looked at things like that. And then I'm also, there's a lot of factors that go into it too as well. But then there's the quality of the hardcover in terms of being able to flip through it. So the binding on a hardcover, but it depends. It depends on how it goes. I want to make sure that you guys are definitely getting a very high quality square bound heavy stock paper. And right now I think it makes the most sense for comics, particularly the pulp sort of style I'm doing. But we may get there. and I'm not sure, I can't really speak to the metrics right now because everything is changing so much. Even since I launched this campaign, you're still seeing supply chain issues and things like that. So we'll have to just see where things are, when we get there. But first, guys, getting through this one and having this one be successful and as successful as it possibly can be is the first big step we're taking. We'll get there. I really do have a tremendous amount of faith in this project and you guys and in CG. Can't overstate that, guys. So proud of everything that we're doing. But yeah, I mean, the biggest thing for me is I want to make sure that I get all of these characters introduced to you in this first story in a way to where you connect with them. And you feel that sort of, oh gosh, hold on a second. I just realized I was off frame. Let me move that camera just a little bit. There we go. I want to make sure that you guys get that believability in this world and that sense. Okay. Okay. Scrambling Langers. Sounds good. Hoping to get there soon because I agree it deserves thank you so much. You guys are awesome. But yeah, to me, it's all, I would say this, whenever you're talking to me and whenever you're on the stream and whenever I'm doing artwork, I know you guys know this. I am the editor-in-chief. I am the CEO. I'm the guy who talks to the printer. I'm the person who does all that stuff, just like all of us are, right? We're all small business people. And so it's funny, like our brains just go to pudding when we like think about other variables sometimes. People are like, so if you thought about this, and our brains are like, and you guys are watching that happen in real time. I'm like thinking our minds are an ocean of things that we're remembering. And that's why actually what I love about the chat is the fact that sometimes you guys will remind me of something that I was like, oh yeah, I was going to mention that. Oh yeah, I should remember to say that. Oh man, it's good stuff. This is definitely some of the most fun I've ever had with any group of people, anywhere, anytime, any place. You guys are the best. And I appreciate you very much. Very much. And yeah, I mean, so I was a friend of mine I was talking to who's in CG. I'll tell you this bit right here, which you guys will understand. I was talking to him and he said to me, Shanth, I had a conversation with someone else in CG and they were telling me, they go, it is a very weird thing when you're in Comicsgate and you're talking to people directly and you say to yourself, I'm going to tell them my story. I'm going to put myself out there and I'm going to ask them to back my book. That may seem like obviously you're going to ask them to back your book. That is why you're here. But it is really not. It's a very wild thing to do, to get to that point where you are saying to people, look, I believe in this project. You should believe in this project too. And I'm not going to let you down and let's do this. And I'm like, oh, that is so crazy. Yeah, sounds good. Hoping you get there soon. Okay, great. Stephen Rockwood, thank you for that, by the way. Stephen Rockwood, hardcovers are nice, but what I really want is a treasury size edition. Yeah, mine's going to be 8.5 by 11. My favorite book that I own, one of my favorite comics, is the Rocketeer Treasury Edition that IDW put out. It is so nice. It's actually saddle stitched, which is wild, but it's glossy and it's such a joy to read. I actually enjoy reading that book more than I enjoy looking at my deluxe edition of the Rocketeer I have over there because it's easier to flip through. I feel like it's such a production to get out the that Rocketeer, and it's like it's heavy and it doesn't open all the way. So there's it's true. Let's see here. Hey, Sean, if you ever have Charlie's London on, yeah, I'm going to have to do that. Or Mandy Summers on your channel. Charlie's London got a Graham Nolan cover. Yeah, I know. I saw that. Well, I've actually reached out to, or I've talked with both of them. I've been on streams with them, not on this stream. But, absolutely, if they want to come by, they're always welcome. And they know that. And I've reached out to both of them just to say hi. And we're in the Comicsgate Live green room. So, we're always around and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'd love to talk to anybody who wants to come on, particularly for another one of those longer form interviews, because I really think that's fun stuff. There's so much about creators that we don't get to know. And I think it's a really good thing to get to have, like when I had Michael on and I learned a lot about him that I didn't know on that interview that we did, where it was just, learning about the first bande dessinée he got and the artist who he's a big fan of. I like those things because they become a really nice reference for people wanting to get to know a creator, and it was a little bit more structured than I originally thought it was going to be. It just kind of happened, and it was such a fun time, guys. And then I did a similar one with Narwhal, where I got to learn about him and his education experience and all of that stuff too. So yeah, absolutely. I'm always game. I'm always game for meeting people and talking to them about what they do when they're in CG. It's just, it's the way it is. It's the only issue I ever deal with is the same one we all deal with, right? Which is time. Time is the biggest one. Yeah, Charlie got a Graham Nolan cover. Yeah, it looks great too. Really great looking cover. Of course, it's a Graham Nolan cover, so what are you going to do? Of course, it's going to be good. Yeah, Graham's awesome. He does great work. Really great stuff. What am I doing here is a good question that I must ask. Every now and again, I must ask that question. I was just looking at this panel going, where was I going to go with that? Was I going to make that a highlight or not? And so in a panel like this, where you've got so many overlapping different, aspects to it, I'm always trying to remember, because a lot of it you do by feel, but I'm always trying to remember, where I want to have a lighter area or versus a darker area. So on this side of this, this headpiece that he's wearing, that's made up of, for essentially it's all wrappings, just kind of, coming off of this character. But I want to have a nice highlight on that edge that turns the form. Hold on, let me zoom in on this a little bit so you guys can see it better. There you go. Let's see if I can get that to light a little bit better. There we are. But you guys can see what I mean, is that I want to have that edge right there, have a nice, rich kind of highlight on it. And I can do that right now so much easier because I've got a really great combination of surface and media going right now that has really helped me to level up what I'm doing. And, it's funny too, like of all the things people have been asking, the one that I find really interesting, and I'm very flattered by any of it, is wanting prints of some of these pages, which is a wild thing to think about. But my wife and I are talking about doing that, just having some more artwork prints available, like online somewhere, maybe not through Indiegogo, but just on a Shopify or something like that. We just got to figure out how to set that whole thing up. But yeah, I love the idea of doing that kind of stuff because, horror movie posters were a huge influence on me. Yeah, I love that. Yeah. Let me see here. I'm going to get that. People, get to learn more about CG creators on these smaller channels like yours because it's not so crowded. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Let me see here. What? No Dale Keown cover? Agreed. Let's see here. Where do you? I don't know. Dale Keown is the man. And I'm sure John's going to get his cover. Where do you think you get the best clicks for your links? Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. If you've got that info, where can we post your book link? I have found that YouTube by a mile and Twitter. That is where I get the most. Instagram is, dare I say, practically worthless in that regard, which is amazing because I have a huge fan base and I was able to track how many people came to back my comic from Instagram versus YouTube and my own website and my own links or on Indiegogo. Instagram wasn't even on there. It was like barely at the bottom, like 2 or 3 people. And I was like, wow, that's kind of amazing. Yeah. I've wanted since I saw your first page. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yes. We will get that done. If anyone's going to make a Wizard magazine like book for CG, it'll be Michael Bancroft. Yes, because he's the one that everyone knows and he's good at collecting the info. Yes, he is. Him and Mel are amazing at that stuff. Ahoy, ahoy. Everybody's saying hello. Oh, okay. Yeah. You guys would be shocked at how little YouTube does, or not YouTube, sorry, Instagram does in that regard. It's staggering. I've heard other people say that because when Facebook got a hold of it, they changed everything so that they could, it's very pay to play and it's very much not about discovering new things, but getting things pushed on you. So I will have, when I first started, I would have a piece randomly get to like 30 or 40,000 views or likes. And I had almost no one following me. Now that I have 30,000 people who following me, and more people are kind of getting off Instagram too. I have less interaction on my posts. And that started a while ago. Think about that for a minute. And so I'm like going, I mean, whatever games YouTube plays is nothing compared to the games that Instagram plays. And it was like, I was just like, you got to be kidding me. However, I did launch my first 2 art books before Instagram got completely overrun by that. Hey, what's up, Mighty Geek Studios? Great to see you. And so I benefited from that period when it was not, when people weren't putting their hands on the scale. Teflon Ron, it's crazy. I would think that those are some of those Instagram followers here on YouTube. Yes. And I'm going to put that. I've always put my YouTube channel out there, but people have to understand, which I'm sure you guys do. Oh my gosh, it's crazy how fast the chat moves. Yeah, CG Magazine, Rocket in Demand. There you go. Okay, mostly a post to Facebook. There you go. I will tell you this, is that the Comicsgate fan base, something Malin has said 1 billion times, is 2 places. It's on Twitter and it's on YouTube. That's where it is. And that's where the people who back the books are. And they're on Indiegogo. There's a lot of people backing our books on Indiegogo. But it is so true. Instagram is virtually worthless. Think about it this way. Almost all of the big successful, with the exception of Kenneth Roquefort, almost all of the hugely successful Comicsgate books and projects don't have an active Instagram account. And that's where it is. Is it bad to be on Instagram? No. But is it a great use of your time for getting people to back your books? Nope, not based on my experience. If someone has a better experience, maybe Kenneth Roquefort does, but I think his Twitter, YouTube is not the big thing for him, but his career is a big part of that. But also he's very available everywhere. So Instagram may help him. I don't know. DWAG, you streaming from the con. There you go. Oh, excellent. Yeah. So people are out at the convention. How big is your Twitter followers? Mine are like at 500 and something. Not much, which is staggering. My YouTube followers are, of course, there's more of those, and are subscribers, and that's been huge for everything I'm doing. So many people, for whatever reason, bless you people, by the way. For whatever reason, a lot of people like to watch me paint and talk about what I do and watch the book actually come together. I've learned that apparently there's not a lot of people who can talk and paint at the same time. And you can decide for yourself how effective I am at talking and painting at the same time. Oftentimes I like to look at the chat, see how you guys are doing. But that's the thing about it for me, which is on Instagram, when I was posting like little process videos, people were seeing them and things like that. But after a while, like I said, they put their hand on the scale, and it was like, okay, I see the game. I'm not going to spend time on your platform if you're not going to, if there's no benefit. Like I'm not in this to make Instagram feel better about their platform. And YouTube has done a better job. I mean, no matter how difficult it is, they've done a better job. It's true, they buried your Instagram for me. I had no idea you were doing a comic until I stumbled across CG. Absolutely true. And I was like, wait, is that the same Shanth? You're absolutely right. And it's so funny. People started posting. It was really, really funny. And I didn't think about a thing about it because I'm like, of course this is going to happen. They started posting. Are people seeing my post? So one of the things Facebook loves to do, and as a company, is give you a false sense of how well you're doing. And it's really embarrassing because if you're not a child, you want the truth. So they love to have it to where you can have this many friends, but only 3 are following your feed and you don't know who it is. Well, Instagram implemented that to where you used to, if you followed someone on Instagram, you would see their stuff. Then they gave you the option to basically turn it into the Facebook friends, where it's like you think this many people are looking at your stuff, but they're not. Exactly. Fake book indeed. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Let's see here. Not much. Starting a new work schedule. There you go. Should be dope. Get to wake up 2 hours later. Oh, that must be nice. Excellent. Well done on that. But yeah, it's absolutely true. And I actually would love to know how many people want to see my artwork on Instagram. Once it lost that kind of diagnostic value of figuring out like, oh, how many people are really like, is it likes on post? Is it that they hid this post? Is it that they didn't like this post as much? They made it impossible to tell by changing how many different variables were involved, what you're doing that works. You actually had to figure out how to game things. And then once you do that, it's not based on anything that's objective. It's a completely subjective game. And yeah, YouTube and Comicsgate are here's what I would say to anybody. Comicsgate and what has been built at this point is probably the best way to get your stuff out there and in front of eyes. You have to do the rest with your work, but it's like we've already seen like how difficult it can be to play certain kinds of games. Where the where the house always wins, so to speak. And YouTube may get there. All these different places may, get to a point to where it's worse than it is. But Instagram and Facebook seem to have a special gift for denying reality or keeping people from seeing reality. And if you're the kind of person who likes to see reality, then it's not your bag. It's crazy. Yeah, being you used to teach probably plays a big part of why you're good at painting. Yeah, it absolutely does. There's no doubt about it. It's absolutely true. So let's see here. Not that many people can do art and talk, but not usually out. Well, thank you. You guys are very kind. Thank you. Unless you send a link to your Instagram, no one really sees it. Yes, you're absolutely right. And this is the thing. It has changed so much, and I really do think that this has to do with they say it's to make people feel better, but it's actually to keep people from seeing that. Like for example, if you're posting things that are obnoxious or highly politically charged or whatever all the time on Facebook or whatever, if people had to see what you posted when they were your friends or following you on Instagram, you would see people choose to leave, and that would give you some information. But when you don't, and then they make it very opaque on what post gets seen, you can't tell whether people aren't seeing it for this reason or that reason, so you make up your own. And I think, fortunately with something like YouTube at this point, you can make videos on YouTube and people just aren't into them, and then you can go, okay, well, what do I want to do then? What do I need to work on? That's a really useful thing for people who are into the whole honesty thing. And I think that, into the whole, like, hearing how things actually go. And unfortunately, there's just nothing you can do once people decide that their platform is going to be all about giving people a false sense of themselves, or all about, tipping the scales in favor of certain things that have nothing to do with merit, but have to do with subjective ideas of what you think people should see or whatever else. Again, perfectly within, their right to do so. But I don't think that, I think it has a law of diminishing return with that, or it has a, much like Marvel and DC Comics, or any outfit, you can say, we're going to tell you what's good for you for so long until you're wrong, and then people bail. And I think that that's going to be true with anything. And so it's a very good thing to see companies starting to wake up to that. Universal Studios is having a good, run with that right now, enjoying Disney's errors. Unless you send a link, blah, blah, they do opposite of what they say is the purpose. Yes, absolutely right. They do. Yeah. I've been thinking of losing Facebook. Yeah, Facebook has almost no value to me in terms of this. If I was in some Facebook group, it might be useful, but I spend almost no time there. The mainstream is still upset about a bunch of nobodies, starting and started stealing their audience. You're absolutely right on that. But in some instances, it's just been, when I think about, you're right. So totally agree with that, Past Master Dan. But here's the other thing. With regards to Disney's been sitting there with Universal next to them all these years, and the hubris was so amazing that no one could compete with them. That it was all of a sudden. That's what you're seeing happen with DC Comics right now. It's not a subtle collapse. It's a big collapse with these things because the inside's been hollowed out, and it's nuts. So yeah, a small publisher like us, a family business like me, myself, and so many of us in Comicsgate, is able to create a better product with less overhead, and it's a ton of work, but you guys make it possible. we basically, okay, so when you talk about what would it take to make Nosfero and Jonathan Jetty art everything it could be, I quote all of the people who've said this, but Brian Polito's who I heard it from the most, and Ethan and them talk about too, 1,000 loyal ride or die customers, period. That's all it takes to have a very successful business. 1,000 ride or die customers. That's all we need. And that's what I'm building with you guys. And there's backers to be sure. That's a great indicator of how, we're doing. But it's going to be about repeat business. It's about giving you guys a reason to do that and making beautiful work for you. And that's what I'm here to do. Absolutely here to do that. Universal has always done what Disney wouldn't. Yes. And if they build, by the way, I do want to go there because I promised my kids we would go there as a family because they've got the E.T. ride, and I'm a massive Spielberg and E.T. fan. And love that movie. That movie is one of my favorite movies of all time. But also because they've got a King Kong ride there, and I love King Kong. But if they do what they're working on my English, people. If they do what they've been talking about doing and what's on the plan, which is to make a Universal Monsters Land, I will be there the next day. Like, I have to see that. If they do an animatronic Boris Karloff, Bela Lugosi, anything, and recreate some of those environments, I'm there in a New York minute, because what they did with the Harry Potter world and all that stuff is incredible. If they do even a 10th of that with the Universal Monsters, which is, again, it's on the plan book, so let's see how it goes, I will be there with bells on. I cannot wait to see that. Just thinking about it makes me giddy, especially the gift shop. To me, it's like leaving money on the table for them not to do that. And they need to go classic. They need to go big or go home. They need to have Boris Karloff, everybody, pay whatever it takes for the rights. I haven't had a personal social media in years, never been happier. Yeah, I hear that from a lot of people, and that's bad for them. People I know leaving Facebook and Instagram, yes, absolutely. Twitter and social media is just a tool. It's all in how you use it. Yes, absolutely. Universal has always done what Disney wouldn't. Yes, yes, yes. But once the work's done, you can still keep yes, that is the biggest thing. Building equity in your books. Art books 1 and 2 this is the last of the first printing, and then I will decide what I'm going to do from there with them, but I own the rights to it. And so I wanted to create stuff that I have equity in. And I don't have equity in there's no equity in freelance work except for art books, reproduction wise, and all that stuff. But yeah, Universal Monsterland would work. Yeah, if you guys get a chance, and I don't know if there's been any updates, but you should look up some of the proposed ideas and plans and the land that they have set aside for it in the Universal, whatever it's called, Epic Universe that they're building. And they're going to have like the Mario Nintendo land there and all that other stuff. And so, yeah, if they do that, that is one of those evergreen things, which is basically responsible for Universal Studios, the movie studio being what it is the success of those monsters. And they have been selling merchandise and popular for 100 years at this point, almost. Actually, with the Phantom and things like that, we're getting close on it. So yeah, love that stuff. I begged people for 6 years ago to leave Facebook. Yeah. I mean, it's funny too. Like it's poisonous. Like how do I word it? It is all in how you use it. It's all in how you do all this stuff. But as a useful thing to just sign up and use, it's not. You actually have to learn how it works and realize like how fake it is. It's in terms of how they make it hard for you to actually use it well in its design. The thing about CG is that creators invite potential customers to see the process in practice and inspiring them to do the same. Yeah, I mean, I blame one of the most impactful making of videos of all time, which was the making of Thriller, where for the first time people saw Rick Baker doing his special effects work and how it worked. And so many of us got inspired by monsters because of seeing that. And I want you guys to get inspired about acrylic paint, making artwork, buying books. This is all a part of it for me. And I think putting myself out there and doing it is a huge part of it. How many people did Bob Ross inspire, to paint and to get excited about art, even if they didn't paint? Probably more than most of us will ever do in our lives. I haven't been on Facebook for a year. Yuck, yeah. It's a very strange thing. Like it at a certain point, and this is another smart move that Instagram did, at first, they've now undone a lot of this work, but they made it impossible to share links. Instagram or Facebook just descended into a sea of no original content. Like, it wasn't family pictures. It was, look at this political artwork, look at this video. Again, it can be great for that type of thing, but that's not why I was on there. I was on there to see family and friends and see how they were doing. I wasn't on there to see what news articles they were reading, but that's basically all it became at a certain point. It wasn't my bag. And, you know, seeing baby pictures or seeing artwork. And Instagram was very much that alone. It was just seeing pictures of people that you care about and how they're doing. And then it became like, you know, it became like you would only see some of that stuff because a lot of it would be hidden, you know, and it was just like, oh, come on, guys. We're adults here. Don't we have the ability to stop following people without it becoming a national incident? Maybe we don't. Who knows? Sean, this is a new Bob Ross. Working on it. That's a dream. Let's see here. That's what I use it for. Absolutely right. That's what you can use it for, of monsters. Yes, that's right. The new Bob Ross of monsters. That'd be great. Bob Ross said, don't be afraid to make a happy accident or mistake. You're absolutely right. Yep. Absolutely. Hey, what's up, John? Good to see you, man. I just saw you slide in there. Oh my gosh. I'm looking at the colors and not reading names. That's the time of morning it is for me. But yeah, I mean, guys, it's I love talking monsters. I love talking creatures. I love talking, you know, Comicsgate, comic books, pulp. I'm doing a lot of new stuff to make this for the YouTube channel, like coming up with, I've got a Sunday show that I'm going to be doing 1:45 on most days. And actually going to be probably doing one tomorrow. But we'll see. And the only reason I'm saying that is because I know it's Easter and I was thinking about that today. But you know, I want to make sure I'm creating content that's great, and to be able to distribute content instantly and see what people think about it, and get immediate feedback was what made all these things useful to me personally. And so that's kind of how I dictate things on the things I invest in and things I do. You know, that's what's so cool about it. Oh, wow. It jumped again. Goodness. Happy little monsters. I love that. I absolutely love that. That is great. John, past Master Dan. I had a post on Facebook on Thursday. All my family and friends were sending birthday messages. I had ignored it for close to a year. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that happens. Hello, JBot. And let's see. Twitter is like a power drill, an incredibly useful tool if you can use it for promotion and networking, but not so good if you drill holes in your own foot. You're absolutely right. Most people on Twitter do the latter. Absolutely right. Yeah. It is an interesting thing, isn't it? I think that all of these things, I think that there's this thing that a lot of us, you know, from different generations or different backgrounds, depends on how you were raised, know about, like, what people need to know, what people don't need to know, and like what we talk about and don't talk about, blah, 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 in terms of just manners, basic things, not like what you're allowed to talk about, but, you know, like how to alienate audiences. And the place where that was most necessary to be understood, I have always thought, was in mega corporations, certainly in any business. And when that went, I was like that just sort of died with a generation that would just broadcast their thoughts, you know, and it was like, there was a time when you wrote your thoughts down in a diary that nobody read. And all of a sudden people started publishing their diaries, and not everything in there is fit to print. And when the news media started basically making news articles out of everybody's collective diary, things got kind of nuts. But yes, there's nothing to stop people from posting cool artwork and being positive. There's no rule against it. Friendly little monster here. Maybe have a bigger fang. That's right. We're gonna have a giant fang right there. That's right. That's what I got to do. But yeah, there's I used to tell my students that, jokingly, I used to say, everybody when they're using social media knows the First Amendment, you know, very, very well. But few people stop to consider the Fifth Amendment, which is also a very valuable amendment to know, which is the right to remain silent. Not the right to be silenced, mind you, which is a whole different thing, which is not what I'm about. But that you don't have to make unforced errors, or at least increase the probability of said things happening. You don't have to weigh in on every topic. You don't have to. And if you want to, you can. But, you know, like with everything, anytime you weigh in on something, there's there's a risk, and it's the amount of confidence people have that there's no risk in anything has just escalated so much. I certainly don't think you should be trying to destroy people's lives because they make a mistake, but I do think that, which is insane to do, in my opinion. But I do think that it is weird how people just need to talk about, let's say, certain people in Comicsgate, like Ethan Van Sciver, like they wake up in the morning and they need to do it. I'm like, why are you even doing that? Like, what is this about? Do you guys know what I mean? Really strange, very strange to me. We've armed ourselves with quills and paintbrushes and pencils, backed by great ideas. You're absolutely right. That's what we do. That's where it happens. Kenneth Roquefort's a really good example of that. Somebody who just does dynamite stuff, and that's it. He lets his work more or less speak for himself. Partially it's the language barrier, but the other aspect is the work is so good. He's confident in what he does, and why shouldn't he be? It's fantastic work. There's a difference between bold and dumb. Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. And as hopefully as any red-blooded young man who has been a middle schooler knows, those lines get very blurred in your youth, but certainly shouldn't be, that wildly blurred into your adulthood. It is what it is, and it's it's a strange thing, it's the, how do we use things and do the things we do that's in our best interest. And I don't mean politically, I mean and when I say politics, I don't mean like politics. I mean, so I don't mean it like strategic and manipulation wise. I mean it in terms of what's effective long-term strategic thinking for building a business or building an industry. And to me, that's a very fun thing to think about. And how do we entertain? Like I wake up in the morning and go, okay, I've got to come up with some new things I want to be doing to entertain. And oh yeah, I've got to remember to make sure I'm streaming and putting stuff out there because I want to talk to the people who are backing my book and show them how it's coming. It's a fun thing. I certainly don't think about going online and telling my customers that I don't like them. I don't understand that one, but it is what it is. It's great that other people do it because it makes my job easier. I'm too busy trying to figure out how to paint, edit videos better, and come up with cool ideas for future perks and for future projects too, which is one of the other things I've been thinking a lot about lately. So this color you're seeing right here that I'm putting in, just so you guys know, I want to talk briefly about this painting thing because I just realized I'm painting, and that a lot of people may think what I'm doing is more complicated than I want it to be. Like I want you guys to understand a little bit of what you're seeing here. So when you guys see this, you see all these different colors happening here. How I'm getting my range when I'm doing this stuff. Oh, wait, let me see here. Gosh, sorry guys. Big jump. Yeah, Groken 2. Proverbs 18:21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruits. There you go. Rich Ayala needs a regular on the Sunday show you're talking about doing in Rhode Islanders Unite. Yes, absolutely. Hello. I've got a pretty loose tongue now. There we go. Loving this. I know a 15-year-old kid created the most interesting comic book using only stick figures. There you have it. Yes, loving this. Thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate it. Duart, good to see you, and hail to you. So how a lot of color is achieved, a lot of really great color is achieved, is by mixing two complements or very similar or very opposite colors together and limiting your palette. So in this case right here, the way I mix up a color that is a very vibrant, in a sense, dynamic brown-like color, because I need it to be these mummy wraps, is to take a very vivid orange, a cadmium orange. It's a tube of orange paint. I do not mix orange. I do not mix green. I have tubes of green, all the primary and secondary colors. So I have tubes of green, red, yellow, orange, blue, purple, and I think that's all of them, but I could have missed orange in there or something. But I have tubes of all of those colors. So when I mix a very bright orange, think of like an orange sports car, and I mix that with a purple, a very dark purple, dioxazine purple, what you get is, hold on a second, I'm going to show it to you guys because it's right here. What you get is a very rich, muddy purple. or sorry, brown, muddy purple, orange, brown. And it ties in with all the other colors you're doing, but it also just gives it this look that if I were to take a burnt umber or burnt sienna and just get it out of the tube, it wouldn't do. So by getting those like I have a very green. It's not an off green, it's a green. I have an orange. It's not an off orange, it's an orange. When you mix two bright colors together that complement each other, you get very vivid mud, for lack of a better way of putting it, muddy brown colors. And that's what's cool. I love this. I didn't know Mumby's rap. Absolutely. Every time I say that, I think about that. It's you guys are gonna get me coughing, but that's all right. That's what we're here for. To crack me up, and hopefully I entertain you guys a little bit as well. So when I mix those colors together, you get this vivid nature. Now, I had always used every single tube of paint at the same time when I started learning how to paint. The problem with that is that you get brown of an uglier nature because it's killed all the color in every color. So using a limited palette like I am right here, whether it's orange, blue on some of these panels or yellow and purple, and then adding subtly other colors over top, gives you a much stronger base to build your stuff off of. And by the way, I use the same technique when I'm doing digital. Nothing really changes when I'm doing digital work. I will start out with two complementary colors. I may bucket fill a brown or purple ground and then work off of it with a yellow, and I get all of these great colors in between, and it gives you a sense of a much more full color piece. And that's what you're seeing happening right here. These colors that are in between here are that orange a little bit more or that purple a little bit more, and then as they move across each other with a little bit of black and white put in there. And that's it. Yeah, horrible, please no. Yeah, let's wrap up these mummy jokes. Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Once they're unlocked, we are where we are. And so, that's one of the things that I was telling my wife. The thing that's so weird about this stuff is that when it all starts to become muscle memory, which is where it is now, it's strange. It's almost like someone else is painting the work. I love the let's wrap up these mummy jokes, by the way. That's a good one. It really is strange to watch, the muscle memory kind of take over when you're doing this stuff. And it's cool, because you put in all this time on this stuff and you think, how much do I really know? And then you go to do it and you go, oh, wow, there's where all the fruits of the labor come in. So there you have it. And it's the same thing with streaming, guys. I mean, look, I don't know where we are right now with subscriber counts. It can fluctuate 1 or 2 or 3 up depending on how YouTube's feeling. What's up, Skip Edwards? Great to see you. Again here, I love seeing you guys pop in and out. Ooh, it comes to a point of the eternal punishment. Yeah, that's absolutely right. But when I look at it, I think I have, let me see here. I have 879. Wow, one away from 880 subscribers. Wow, that's crazy. But I have, and please hit the like button on here. We are at 30 likes. I think we can move that a little bit. But this is the thing about it, guys. And thank you, 27 people watching. But it's, oh, hey, what's up, 80s Made Consumer? How are you doing? I was just watching your stream this morning, by the way. Great stream, and thank you for the kind words. But it's one of those things to where, I lost my train of thought when I went over there. Oh, yeah, so we're almost to 1,000 subscribers, and we're building this stuff bit by bit by bit, entertaining people and making cool stuff. And I absolutely love that whole aspect of things. YouTube has become my primary entertainment because even though it takes a little bit of searching, you can find the stuff that you want to watch and the stuff that entertains you. Like I said, working on the diving suit character for the pinup for the Diaz brothers CG Vacation book, I got to find old instructional videos, naval instructional videos on how diving suits work and what's involved in terms of safety protocols. And if that isn't cool, I mean, I don't know what is, but I'm a nerd that way. Like and sub. Thank you so much. Hail, everybody. Absolutely. So also the tongue is a small part. Oh, so sorry, 5. So also the tongue is a small part of the body, and yet it boasts of great things. James 345. There you go. Excellent. Yeah, and everyone's saying hello to 80s Made Consumer. It's great to see you. Yeah, awesome. Thanks. Editing a video on a painted movie poster as we speak. Yeah, I love that you were talking about painted movie posters. I love painted movie posters. Yes, the Diaz brothers are doing a pinup book sign up here. So yeah, let's talk about that too, because I want to make sure I talk about that before we wrap up today, because I want to show you guys the progress on this piece. I know I did give you guys a glimpse of it before, but let's take a look with it having a little bit more space, because it is a larger painting to be sure. So this right here, let's move this camera up a little bit right here. There we go. This right here is my piece for Zaid Comics and CG Vacation. So you can get a look at how this painting is coming together and where we are on it. This is how I'm going to be working in terms of a lot of my pinups, I think, going forward. When people commission me to do pinups, I'm going to be working larger just because you can get so much detail in it. When this thing reduces down, see if I know I have comics around me here. So let me grab a comic for scale so you guys can see the difference between the original artwork and comic book scale. All right. So here's a comic book for scale. A little graveyard shift. This is one comic book height. I'm going to mark it. So just under twice as big. This is an 11.5 by 18-inch painting right here. And so when it reduces down, a lot of the stuff that you guys are going to see on stream is going to be way more detailed and way more structured. And it's going to be structured anyway. It's going to look great as a painting, but just like when Phil was talking about seeing Steranko's 2-foot wide paintings, it's going to have a really great, look at this stuff, and so it's very, very, very cool. Let me see here. Said it before, but I'll say it again. Love how you nailed the difference in thank you. I really appreciate it. I think about that whenever I'm working on this. I think about that. That's such a very kind compliment and so thoughtful, and I appreciate it. Makes me feel like I'm doing something right, Jeremy. Thank you. I didn't notice the straps on the bikini bottom before. I like the colors and straps. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that, guy. Oh, you guys are the best. Don't give me your eel eye. Yeah. You guys are killing me. And people wonder if I do legit spit takes. I do. No, Sean, this is New York Comics, really. Whatever, guest. Yeah, I'm surrounded by CG Comics. Wonderful. I love everything. Oh, thank you so much, Admiral. Tip of the hat. You guys are getting me. I don't know why. It's the weekend and everything. It is what it is. Yeah. Oh, that is. I think, Uncle, I just realized she is surrounded by danger. So here's what Phil said when he came on my stream talking about Steranko the other day. And it really, what's going on with the Wi-Fi here? Hang on a second. Looks like it's low for some reason. There we go. But here's bikini bottom. You're absolutely right. SpongeBob love there. Yes. Sign up for CG Vacation here. Wow, are you going to sell that painting? Yes, I definitely am going to sell this painting. Everything accentuates the joke with the parrotfish. You're absolutely right. Wow, cool. I just realized she's surrounded by danger. So one of the things that Phil said that was really great and that I loved was that Jim Steranko, a quote he got from Jim Steranko, he said that every painting that he does for the Shadow had to have three things. Every painting he does, it has to be mysterious. There has to be a sense of mystery, a sense of danger, and a sense of sexiness. And I thought that is the definition of what I'm going for on Nosfero, and I'm even going for page by page of Nosfero. That is the biggest thing for me. That fish was probably raised by dolphins. I agree, and I know exactly what you're saying there. Absolutely right. So, and this is the thing here. Let me see if I can find this, because if I can find it, it would be great. So everybody kind of gets something that I found and I thought was great that I could see it, because it's not available most places. Not here. Goodness gracious, my YouTube history is just filled with a lot of videos between things. I watch a lot of YouTube. Not that should surprise any of you. Oh, there it is. There it is. Shoot. Here we go. Let me see if I can find this. All right, so turn the ball. Cool. All right, so I'm going to share this with you guys. That is the hope. Fingers crossed I don't boomer this up completely. So let's take a look at, I want to show this to you guys. Let me know if you can hear the audio. Share screen. We're going to try. Chrome tab. Aged man attempting things. share. And now I'm going to add this to the stream. There you go. Let me know if can you guys see that okay? I think you guys can, right? All right. So let me see. Tell me if you can hear the audio on this. All right. So let me move this back to before we get into all that stuff. Here we go. All right, guys, ready? Here we are.
Butler is now open, and you can come and see it for free through May 29th. When you come to see the Steranko exhibit, you may expect to see, maybe drawings, prints, but no, these are actual paintings. And they are paintings of so many well-known literary, cinematic characters. And of course, you got some Marvel in there too. So recognizable characters are Star Wars characters. We've got Conan, Indiana Jones, and Steranko's big one that he's really known for is The Shadow. The Shadow is an exhibition within this exhibition. So you're going to see a smaller section of The Shadow, and they're bright and colorful. And yes, these are paintings. This is probably Steranko's best work, and he is well-renowned and well-respected as a literary artist. He is a jack of all trades too, and if you look at his bio information, you can check that out at butlerart.com. He was an escape artist. He was in a band. He was
that's the one Phil went to. Or this is the one. It's still going.
Director. He's done so much. Worked closely with Lucasfilms, Francis Ford Coppola.
Look at that work,
Dracula.
Guys. Look at those originals.
He helped create the look of Indiana Jones.
Yep.
The big one is Nick Fury. And if you look at Nick Fury and if you look at photos of Jim Steranko, who goes by Steranko, you can see Jim in there. He's got that face. So when you look at Nick Fury, you see Steranko in there. The Butler brings exhibitions like this one.
Okay, so we're gonna skip over the promotion for the museum, where they talk about how important fine art is. With all due respect, commercial art's where I live, but this is the thing I want you guys to understand about this stuff. And yeah, that is sick. That's the exhibit Phil went to. Phil got to spend quality time talking to Jim Steranko. Aldous as well was there. And they had a great time. And they talked about walking into the room and seeing large-scale original artwork. And it really has gotten me thinking as I've worked on Nosfero. When people ask the question, where's the work where's the work that we're going to be looking at that's going to be traditionally done, painted work, pen and ink work, whatever the stuff is. And there's a lot of it being done in Comicsgate. There's a lot of us who do media work, but I will tell you this, for that old style pulp sensibility in work, this is what you're getting when you back my projects. This is what you're getting when you back Nosfero. The difference is I'm creating the characters, I'm creating the worlds that you're getting. So it's created from the artist's mind, and it is, something that you are backing to make possible. It's not coming from a publisher. And yes, I absolutely do separate commercial and fine art. Sorry, John. Sorry, guys, I have to jump in and answer that. But I use the Gowan's philosophy, which is the high arts and the low arts. And I classify fine art as the decadent arts, as he does outside of both of those. I believe art is about function. So this is the thing that I got to say, is that when Phil contacts me, or any publisher contacts me, and writer and creator contacts me, and wants to commission me to do a piece for a book, I'm trying to give them, much like my backers, the maximum experience for their money and for their investment. And I'm trying to give myself that experience when I'm making the work, because I want it to be a rich and rewarding process. And that's why I spend time looking up diver suits. That's why I spend time, looking at various painting, masters, and studying, different pinup artists. And in this case, Gil Elfgren has been a huge influence on me lately. But I want you to get something. And the crazy thing to think about is and I just saw, for those of you guys who missed it, Mel just posted on Twitter. And let me see, actually, hang on a second here. Where is it? There we go. So let's share this window, because this is a big part of what I do here. Share screen, boomer it up. Let's see here. Oh my God. Jesus. I'm moving at the speed of stop here. This right here, this is what it's about for me. Let me see if I can get that image in frame. There we go. Share screen. This right here, Mel just got my ARO orangutan painting framed, and it's hanging in Michael and Mel's house right now. That is one of the joys of what we do here when we do original artwork, that it ends up framed in somebody's house, in their home, or in their art gallery, or in their reading room, or wherever it is, and it gets to be a part of that. And oh my gosh, you guys are hilarious. You're cracking me up. Yes, ARO is the strong male role model that we all need. You're absolutely right. And that's the thing too, right? And CG now, can't say enough about it. Yeah, Gil Elfgren is a great pinup artist. You're absolutely right. Love that stuff. CG Comics, yes. And yeah, get Sean's swimsuit piece and tons more. CG Vacation, thank you. Hasselhoff is the true Nick Fury. You're absolutely right. And I have seen that movie. But you've got to make sure when you're doing this stuff, when I see the tour of all the fantastic pulp art that Jim Steranko has been responsible for and has created, I think that is what our job is here, is to, I'm not going to concern myself with the absurdities, the many absurdities that have been going on in the comic book industry. I'm going to concern myself with the brilliant, beautiful, bold, powerful, sexy, mysterious, and dangerous work of people like Jim Steranko and all of those legends that have come before us as artists. That's the thing that gets me excited about what I do, and that's why I'm here to stream. I'm here to say hail to all of you guys, and to thank you for being a part of Comicsgate and backing all these great books, because you guys are making art possible. Backing isn't about getting a book. Backing is about lending your resources to buying paint and brushes. It's a very different thing. It is also about making it so that it's possible. That's what investor capital is. It's possible for people to make things and bring them to market. How cool is that? OC Steve, I won't even comment, but hail OC Steve. It's great to see you, my friend. And sometimes you have to have those conversations too. That guy needs an intervention. It's yeah, he has hands and feet. That's right. It's one of those things. I absolutely, yeah. Well, it's what you know. What do people want? Like my rule with pricing things is, when it comes to originals, and this is specific to originals, is I like to price it at a price where I will feel overjoyed to send it on its way, because I love all of my paintings. I put so much time into every little part of my paintings. That's why so few of us sell our originals. Our page, I know Kenneth Rocafort doesn't sell any of his original pages, because this is like, I always tell my kids, when it comes, they can toss them, they can do whatever they want to do with them, but my paintings are their legacy, which is to say, is what I want to leave for them to have, because they can know their dad was present in the work, if that makes sense. Like, you can see the artist's hand on this work when you see it. There are parts where I smear the paint with my hands when I want to like get a blend. Like, this is a very tactile thing. And when you guys, you know, going back Nosfero, and you look at like a page like this is real-time imagination. One person using pigments and, you know, oh my gosh, what allows them to adhere to the surface and what allows them to be diluted and mixed, putting that onto this primitive, you know, material and trying to create something that is magical and speaks to the spirit of the time period we're living in. And that is what I love about Comicsgate. And that's why I'm so grateful to you guys. You don't know how grateful I am for you guys getting the word out about Nosfero, backing it. We're almost to 25K. And we are continuing to go onward and upward with this book. And you guys are here for the process. You guys are here to watch these streams. You're liking these videos. You're subscribing to this channel. It is successful because of what we're doing here. And I never take it for granted. Because I'm doing this all day. I'm working in this office, whether I'm streaming or not. I'm here working. My wife, this is our life. This is the center of our house, essentially. It's not the living room, but it's a side room that's been turned into my studio space. You guys are here. The work I'm doing is central to my family life. And I want you guys, the bookmark's coming along great. It's not as, I don't know if it's fit to show, but I'll show it to you because you asked, because I'm still working on it. So there is the upside down version of it. There's the doorway with the creature that's established on the first couple pages, first scenes in Nosfero. And there's the top bit right there. So it's coming along pretty great. I'm pretty happy with how it's coming. I got more to do, and I'm going to detail the living heckfire out of it. So when it reduces, it's going to be even more insane. And I may think about selling that original. I'm not sure yet. Yeah, absolutely right, Phil. Hail chat and embrace pulp. Absolutely, guys. Yeah, I am very happy to carry that flag of pulp artist. That is a very important thing. Picking up that brush and doing it. Yeah, the puking dog bookmark is going great. I think about that now whenever I paint it. You're in my head, rent free, John. Sorry, man, coughing. Sorry, guys. But yeah, it's a blast, and thank you. I really appreciate that, guys. I want you guys to really get a chance to experience the kind of care and detail that we put into the stuff that we're doing, really creating that kind of rich sort of pulp magic and mystery that makes these stories and makes the comic book art form what it is today, and it's the same thing with her. It's like when you guys subscribe, get the word out, you guys are ambassadors for pulp. You're ambassadors for what we're doing here. You're ambassadors for beauty and the tradition of Western art and comic book making that people like, Jim Steranko are these massive parts of. They've left a legacy there. And I'm going to make sure that when you guys get this book that you are beyond, and actually, well, mainly Phil is, because Phil's got to ship everything out, that you guys are like, wow, he actually thought about how all this stuff works. He thought about the patina on the metal. He thought about, what was going on, where the air bubbles would be coming out. He looked at moray eels. He looked at parrotfish, and he looked at he envisioned a gigantic ragged-toothed shark looming, the quintessential danger in this piece. Sexiness, mystery, danger. Hail Jim Steranko. That's what that's about, guys. And that's what we're doing here. Yeah, the Universal Monsters are all in public domain. Very true. Good Easter, Jonathan. You guys, you rock. Goodbye. Your art rocks. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you. And yeah, guys, I'm wrapping up because I'm at 2 hours, and stick a fork in me. I am done, as they say. Yes, and everybody have a great day and a happy Easter and a wonderful Passover, whatever you are celebrating, and have a great weekend. Slade Raider, it is great to see you. Happy Saturday as well. I'm going to be, guys, make sure you like this video. Make sure you keep sharing about Nosfero and Comicsgate and Back in Books. We appreciate you guys so much. And I appreciate you guys. My family appreciate you guys, and wishing you guys all the best. I will be back for the Sunday show. I think it's going to be at 1:45 Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. I know some of you guys will be at Mass and things like that. So have a wonderful Easter, by the way. And I will see you guys soon. Yeah, I believe Jonathan could get. That's right. Well, thank you. From your lips to God's ears. I appreciate that. Yeah. CG Talk tonight. OC Steve, thank you for reminding me. Yes, good stream. Thank you so much, Stephen Rockwood. Hello. Everybody saying Lord Crack at 33, sub Stephen, Teflon, Ron, Waffle time indeed. Peace out, all bow. And yes, guys, so make sure you watch CG Talk tonight, sub to Lord Crackhead 33, where you will see it. Do art bow. Absolutely. Thank you, everyone. Bow, John. Yes, Mo Biggs, hail to you, my friend. Thank you. Yes, catch you all later. Indeed, 80s Made Consumer. D-Wag is streaming in about 40 minutes on his channel. So there you go. There is more to be had. CG Talk tonight with special guests, as always. So, all right, guys, let's close out with a song for my crew, for the people I love. Zach Fernandez, absolutely. Thank you so much, Zach Fernandez, and God bless you too as well. Let's see here. Yes. All right. So here we go, guys. Let's close out with our song. Thank you so much, guys. Bow indeed, hail, and much love.
Here's a little something for you busters. Yeah.
You're not even learning anything on the street.
Yeah.
You think I'm stupid, son?
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say to you, boy?
Yeah.
Do you?
What's up with that?
Look at me, damn it!
Y'all cowards don't even smoke crack. What's up with
You
that?
smoke crack, don't you?
Y'all cowards don't even smoke crack.
Look at me, boy!
Hey to
You
you,
smoke crack, don't you?
don't even smoke crack.
You know what that does to you? Huh? You smoke crack, don't you?
Smoke crack.
Go on and do it expeditiously.
What's up with that?
It kills your brain cells, son. It kills your brain cells.
Don't even smoke crack.
No guts, huh?
I apologize. I forgot you were there. You may go now.